Super nice rear end. Crazy, crazy. So this dude's going way big with this. It'll be a killer.
Did you say this was a C30?
This will be a C30. So we're taking a long bed fleet side. We'll cut the fenders off and then add an upside fender to it.
So you're going to make it like Dino's?
This will be a dually.
A dually.
Well, on Dino's, Huck did the fenders on it, and he grafted the fleet side back into the step side. So it was a huge process on that. I think we want to do something a little different, give it our own style.
Okay, so again, you're gonna make it. You're gonna take a step side fender, grass.
Yep.
But it's not gonna be like a dually style. It's gonna be recessed.
No, it'll be just like a dually. So I guess really what Hubcap did, a non-traditional way of accomplishing the job by grafting the fleet side design back into the step side fender. We're just gonna leave the stock step section dropped, and we got to cut the hell out of it to make it all work. So
cool.
It should be pretty cool. Josiah is gonna knock that one out. This is another GSI. This one is their dedicated coilover C10 chassis. I actually really dig this one here.
So one thing to explain to the audience is Jason's shop. Let me kind of work my way over here. Sorry, guys. So for the Instagram world, I guess you can put it on me right here, but Jason's shop, we're in Chandler, Arizona. We are just right there is I-10 and Phoenix, right there. Well, right there, I assume you probably have it to the mile marker. I'm going to guesstimate it's 2.6 miles away is GSI.
I think it's probably a half mile or less.
Really? Oh, yeah.
They joke because a lot of times,
so it's
I
close.
Shouldn't say this, but a lot of times my joke is like, hey, should I even strap the chassis down when I pick it up? Like it's just across the street.
Yeah, it's literally the freeway, right? So 54th down. So yeah. it's less than a mile.
Yeah.
Less than a mile is GSI, and we're so lucky here. And this is what I wanted to say before I went on Instagram, and I want to get to YouTube. But if I've heard this saying, said many times that we're so spoiled in Phoenix. In Arizona we're spoiled. Well, one of the reasons that we're spoiled is a guy like this. And when you get done looking at the stuff that we're going to look at today, GSI, Porterbuilt, all the chassis, we've got, Dino, we've got Dell, we've got Sam, we've got so many things going on, builders, we've got a lot going on. And whether he realizes it or not, that guy right there is part of the reason. And it's really a new and upcoming thing. You know what I mean? It really is, where he was at switch suspension before, and we have AZ Pro. If you just go along kind of with what I've been able to do and fortunate enough to go with all of these builder series, I'm not running out of people anytime soon. So I've got content. Well, I'm lucky, and we're lucky here in Phoenix, and GSI and Jason have kind of teamed up to really work together well. So it's a cool thing.
You're almost through all the good bits, I think.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I got. Don't tell Trey 5 that.
Shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired. It's we're lucky. We've got some good guys. I need to make it work. I'll get up to see Dell and Mark Oya up in like Cavasu. So
that'd be cool.
Good problems to have. But yeah, continue your tour. I just want to tell them, hey, we're lucky to have you, and GSI is just around the corner.
Yep. So here's
what chassis up there?
Let's see. Oh, that's a stock frame.
The red one.
Yep, with a grafted GSI front and rear clip.
Okay.
I guess on that one it's just a cross member, not a whole clip, but a rear clip. There's the one he's talking about there.
And the half baked looking square.
I think we're calling that my wife's truck.
Oh.
So we kind of adopted. It's cool. It needs some work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you buy it thinking you were going to build it? Did you get into it and somebody traded it?
Yeah, friend/customer brought it to us, and it ended up. Some may say snowball, some may say evolve. It evolved quite a bit from just, hey, let's put this thing back together, to, well, we found some rust, and then we start cutting the rust out, and then we find more. You know how they do.
76?
I think 78.
Okay. I have to look inside there.
Yeah.
What about the TA?
Dude, the TA is rad. It makes me want to smoke Marlboro Reds and listen to Led Zeppelin.
Or high test music?
Or high test music, yeah. It's a pretty rad car. I think, I'm not completely sure on this story, so don't quote me, but there's a 525 horse LS and a T56, so it should be just a riot to drive. So it came in for I think somebody had swapped it just quickly, and so we're going to tidy it up.
Yeah, really, it's kind of it's one of these things is doing his own thing, right? Because you've got a CFC 10s here, a lot of, if you will, and you have a TA.
Yeah, Yeah, this one is the odd man out. But everybody that comes in the shop, he's like, is that Burt Reynolds' car? It could be. I think it was.
Tell him it is.
It is. Oh, we always do.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, YouTube, John Oro saying choppy feed. Hopefully we can get it cleaned up. I'll switch the Wi-Fi. We've got Jason's Wi-Fi going, but we'll keep doing the shop tour and see how it goes. So what's in here?
This is
this way.
Oh, this way.
Yeah.
Oh, we got this is kind of the other side of the business that I'm trying to expand. So this is our fittings and line, fuel hose, brake line, all the stuff that we use here in the shop to for these chassis. We're trying to sell it online. So.
Well, not only that, but probably helps to have it here, right? So
that's really what it is, to be completely honest. This is stuff that we use every single day. And then really for me, with the way my brain works, I have to physically see something to know I have it or not have it. And so I thought, let's just hang it on the wall. And then I hung it on the wall, and I'm like, wow, this kind of looks like a store. And it evolved to here's kind of an online inventory / shop inventory.
Yeah.
But yeah, for what we do, I mean.
So do you have to try to inventory?
This is my inventory. If I see the tag, I got to order.
All right.
That's how it works. It's as simple as that for me. We're young in this side of the business, and so that's kind of how it's rolling. Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm drawn to these two buttes right here.
Yeah.
What do you got going here?
So these are a local customers. Him and his brother wanted to build both some pretty rowdy LS motors.
Okay.
And so when we first got started, my biggest fear was just we're not going to have any work. So let's just do some kind of cool stuff. We'll build some motors, and we ended up taking part to where we're making stroker LS9s is what it would be. And so this is my first go at that. And of course, there's just complication on complication, and we want to make sure it's right. So
yeah.
It'll be cool. Those are little Whipple 2.9s, and then it'll be a set of brothers that own each one of them. So I think that's pretty cool. Those are their heads, AFR heads. They're really building.
And they're going. What are they going in?
I believe one guy's putting them in a '69 Camaro. The other one's a '64 Chevelle.
Wow.
So kind of out of the truck scene a little bit, but
yeah.
I think actually, man, both of them are big C10 guys. They own quite a few C10s.
They're local.
Yep.
Okay. What do you got here?
This is another GSI chassis 55. Bowman actually did the motor for this one, so he did a nice little cam and stuff. And so Monday, first thing, we're going to put the motor and transmission in this one and kick this one out the door. And I believe that Bowman's going to finish this one up. So this will be pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw the
Oh, yeah.
He had the crew cab, which was way nasty, but he ended up running a 1-ton clip on it, so it still fits the same cab, but it gives you a factory wide body, and so that's why the front end of this is so wide. He's going to try. Nope, a different. Oh. It's not pure. No, this is a California.
So for the audience, let them know that's the pure metal is the white Tri-5 crew cab. Let's see here. What I mean, it's it kills it wherever it does.
Oh yeah.
It was at LST. It was like truck of the show. Yeah.
Yeah, and that truck is as far as details are concerned. That truck is just unreal. I've stared at it, and you just can't stop.
Now, did you do the exhaust on this?
Yeah, so we have a guy that's here in town help us out with our exhaust, Andy, and he just absolutely kills it. He did one for me, and ever since we did the one, it's like, I don't think I ever want to try to exhaust again.
Well, you see those CVTs, and we'll get into that.
These are antiques.
Yeah, these are antiques. those are worth some double. So I'm sure that'll come up today in the conversation. Yeah. Now look at this beautiful 1954 Chevrolet. What a beaut. What up, Dixon?
Yes. Guy Corey Bones, Broken Bones. He had started it, and he brought it over to us to finish doing the plumbing and wiring on it. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So
has this obviously been? I'm assuming been painted at least once. I mean, it looks just.
Yeah. So I believe what happened is a '90s restoration. It was just a cool cruiser, nothing, no frills, and then Bones built the chassis for it, did all the air ride on it, tunneled the floors. These cars you got to cut them to get them down.
Okay.
And so he did just that. He built a nice firewall for it, and like I said, we're just finishing up the little touches on it. So.
Well, this is absolute gorgeous here. If this. For the audience, you Instagram, you can hear me. YouTube, I mean, this is really why we're here. This is exactly what Jason does. This is where you don't even want to cover it up. I mean, whether you want to say, okay, between GSI, AccuAir, and all the different components and the companies that he's using. But, I mean, when I come over here to this shop, I don't even want him to cover this up. I mean, look at the bends. Look at the lines. Sorry, YouTube with the camera here, my camera skills. But when you look at what Jason does, and you look at this is what it's all about. This is exactly what, kind of what I guess I would say, hone in your craft to be a true craftsman on all this.
Yeah, this is really what our niche started out to be, line work. And, you know, we joke about it in the shop all the time. The funniest part of Chris, my employee Chris, he does such these trucks. The goal when he's done is that nobody sees.
Yeah, point that there so you can see it.
So nobody sees the wiring. And so the better he does his job, the less recognition he gets. And so we try to hide everything. So computers are mounted inside the chassis. This truck's fully wired. So for example, like it's wired, the fuel pump's wired, fuel tank's wired, tail lights are wired. The chassis, that's all you see is just a little exit. You put the cab on, you make your connections, and we're out. So
and it's all internal.
Yeah, everything's ran inside. Yeah, his wires are ran inside. All the wires are inside.
No, so what would you say to that when you think about like potential problems if you had an issue?
Yeah, so I think of it like a house, right? So if you're building a home, you run conduit. I think you'd want wire through conduit, and you put it in a nice, safe enclosure. And so that's my principle is that when we first get these chassis, we have a what they call a bore scope. And then we go and zoom in with a camera and just make sure that the frame rails are cleared. If there's something that we need to address, the chassis that we work with routinely, we know what to expect and we know where we need to address certain things. But generally, we can just run it and treat it as conduit.
Are you doing any type of conduit, or is the chassis
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. So here's a good example. Like we know on these chassis here that there's a plate in here. So we're either going to run a grommet through it, but basically new chassis, we just start cutting holes in it. So this is a little piece that we have laser cut for us, and then we drill and tap it, attach it to the chassis. But this is an access plate. So this unbolts, and there's a section in here that we need to get through. Yeah. So then we
So that's a high door.
Yeah, that's basically
trap
what
door.
it is. Yeah, and I think
access point.
If we go to that one, you can see exactly what I'm saying. So this one has some open steel, and it's dusty and that's what that. So this is what it looks like, right? So they have a plate in here, and so then we just find an appropriate sized grommet, and now everything is held in place. So there's his taillight wires, his fuel pump wires, his air lines, AccuAir remote wires, ignition leads, and then that'll get capped with a plate and hidden away, and then that's basically an access door where you can still service it. And
battery power wires here on this side.
Exactly, yep.
Sorry, Instagram. Okay, so you can see the little trap door there. And then is there another one up front or no?
Yeah, there's numerous. So we'll have, you want me to hold
No, you're good, you're good.
Oh, yeah, so on this, and every chassis is different. That's the point of the bore scope. So we got to get in there and we got to see what we need.
Like a plumber.
If we got to put 18 holes in this guy's chassis, we're going to probably say, you know what, let's do this one on the outside. We're not cutting 18 holes. We got to cut, like this one, we know we got to cut 1, 2, 3, and we're done.
So I see you got them on the inside here.
Yep. And so now we could go in there and we can secure, well, this one's got a door on it, but that one there doesn't. And so you could see his battery cable on the one that's closest to you. And we can go in there and we could run a rubberized P-clamp and secure it, and it's nice and safe inside that chassis.
Yep. There you go. So how are you cutting that hole? You just plasma cutting that, or what do you?
I wish a lot of these that we'll get will already be powder coated. Oh. So we got to do what I would consider a cold cut. So basically, it's 4 drilled holes and then just like an air saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's coming out right there.
Yep. So that's your battery cable, and that's a little signature move too that we do. So basically, it's a junction block. Most of the aftermarket wiring comes you to use your starter to grab power from, because there should be a good power supply there. But if you've ever worked on a car that has that, and trust me, I've done it numerous times before I found this idea, you just get such a cluster of wires off the starter.
Yeah.
It really makes, if you ever have to change a starter, it makes it impossible. So we run this little junction block. You can run your fans off of it, run your cab lead, you name it.
And you hide that little J box right down there.
Exactly.
So really, you are taking a lot of what I would consider, and a guy who, I mean, I've built a house in general, a few. You're taking a lot of the industrial construction stuff and cleaning it up and putting it into an automotive.
Well, I think there are certain principles to follow. You know, when you're building something in general, you can either leave a wire or an airline loose, or you can secure it. And then you say, okay, well, what am I going to secure it to and with and all this? And you find these items that once you discover kind of your signature,
your recipe,
man, you just duplicate.
Oh, and this must be part of the recipe here. I'm seeing this little fitting. So you've got a little brake fitting, you got a little clamp there.
Yep.
Yes, it's got a little high tester wire there going to your AccuAir.
Yep.
RIP.
Not for long. I have a feeling not for long.
I don't know if these guys can see this, but let me take this in there, Instagram. So he's got his AccuAir feed coming out. He's got a brake line fitting, little banjo system set up there. He's got another airline there. So airline, electronics, and brake line. Ride height sensor. It's the bee's knees. I mean, let's just face it. So it's amazing. Now let's go look at this chassis that you guys were cleaning up here and rolling out. This thing is just gorgeous. I'll give you that, and then I'll turn it back on to you. But man, look at this. Look at the color.
This one's sick. This one is Chuck C out of Florida. I think he had a lot to do with the color combinations on this one and the paint scheme. This is for one of his customers, and I think he knocked it out of the park. The customer chose the wheels, and oddly enough, the wheels that he chose were the same as what's on Clifford on Chad's truck.
Sure.
So transports with a
GMC
hubcap, which would be era correct to this pickup. So I thought that was super
now those
cool.
are cut though.
Yeah,
they're not that deep.
Right. Yeah. So these. You know what? I'm not exactly sure who did these. It's some guy out of Canada.
Yeah. Okay. So the front obviously is not as much as the rear. He's got good lip here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they reverse lift them, and then the rears, and then the fronts, and then he I don't even know what you would call it. Not re-drilled. They cut the whole center out of the wheel and converted them to 5-lug.
Oh.
And man, I was scared when I saw that. I told the guys balancing the tires, I'm like, hey, if this kills your tire machine, because be aware that could happen. And they go, man, they balance so good. So the dude that's cutting these out, and I wish I could give him credit, the dude knows what he's doing.
The Dillman guy?
I believe that's it. That's
Dillerman?
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that guy does sell these a lot.
Yeah.
Dillerman 77 or something like that.
Dude, that guy, he's got some balls. He's not scared. I would never do something like what he did to these wheels.
So one of the questions is, where can they get that J box for that block? Oh, CE? Yeah, Tony, right?
Tony, that's
okay.
the guy.
We'll do some plugging on Tony for Instagram. Hold off on the questions if you guys can while we're doing the shop tour. We're kind of just trying to give you guys a lot of love, and I'm trying to pick his brain. But C Electric Tony is the man, and ironically enough, he's local. He's just down the road from me out in Gilbert, and he's a really a good dude. So yeah, Stefan Dillman. I forget what his Instagram is, but somebody just popped up with it. Customs did. So thanks, Snowden. So for YouTube, it's Stefan Dillman, Dillman. And I think it's like Dillman77 or something like that on Instagram. Yeah. So somebody will chime in with it. But what wheels are these? Those look like a Detroit, or those a GSI, or are they Detroit?
No, those are,
okay.
So those are,
that's their. Yeah, it's their. I think they. That's the one Sam had on OG. Yeah. And they make a new one called the Mac.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Okay.
I love their stuff, man. They're on a whole nother
and Matador powder coated this chassis?
Yeah, so this would be
okay,
Matador's.
So we had Matador on for you guys.
He actually did the wheels too, the white walls, so he painted those for us.
Yeah, that's that kind of that whole deal with Goose got going.
Yeah, we copied his recipe.
That's good. That's good.
It's pretty cool.
This is one thing I really like about the GSI chassis, just the way that they've linked it. Obviously, they got kind of the Watts link here. You guys can see this setup. The way that it's, I mean, literally it's just so tight. I bet this thing rides. And I could tell you what, I don't know that I'm really not sponsored by Ride Tech. I mean, I do work with Ride Tech, but if you guys can get a pair of Ride Techs, if you have any, I had them on Yellowstone, I have them on North Slice, and a Ride Tech Fox shock is the way to go.
Hands down.
Yeah.
The best thing you could do on an air ride vehicle is put a Ride Tech shock on it. We've done it just, I mean, you have like a good gas shock, you're like, there's nothing wrong with the way my air ride vehicle rides. Then you throw a set of these on there, and you're able to adjust it.
Stiffen it up a little bit, tighten it up.
Whole other ballgame, or loosen it or whatever. I mean, it allows it to have adjustability.
Another beautiful, the bronze anodized, which that should be the color that's on this one.
That's this one here, yeah. So we matched this. They gave us a powder coat color because the company that coats these, Cerakote, and the prismatic powders is actually the same company, 2 different divisions. So it's pretty cool. We could say, okay, they Cerakote color, can we match it? And so this is the best match without getting a.
And this is the OBS.
This
is
an
Mad
OBS.
Rod. So this is an OBS
Yep.
truck that Roderick's building. Mad Rods. This is going to be beautiful. So you can see he's got a CSC tents here. This shop is full. Jason started out, I think he had 2 or 3 in here, and I think you were thinking it was maybe too big of a shop.
Yeah.
And now you're
we were like, hey, who can we sublease to 4 or 5 other shops? We could all get in here. And
yeah. C10 Talk and C10 Nation made the Wall of Fame up there, so we're honored to be here. And we love what he does. He's got some storage. He's got motors. It's a kid in a candy store here. And I'll tell you right now, guys, one thing that's really kind of funny about this shop, and he's going to hate that I say this, but this shop is absolutely filthy compared to the way that it normally is.
it is.
It really is. So when I come here, when other builders come here, other guys, I should say, I'm not including myself as a builder. I'm just a slapdick social media, YouTube, or podcast guy. But when I love Jason's shop and its cleanliness, and that even goes back to Seth. You know, when you work with Switch, I remember I was doing stuff with Yellowstone. He's like, just give me the tools. Just put them right here. I'll go through them all. You can use my toolbox. I'll take care of everything. So you're a clean, organized. And I'm assuming that takes a lot of effort on your part. But at the end of the day, it saves you a lot of time.
I just don't know any other way. It might be a problem or not, but that's what gets me through life. You know, trying to be somewhat organized. Like you said, it's a mess right now.
Comparatively.
Yeah, it is.
Compared to what it normally is. So, all right, we got the light. We're gonna work with the light a little bit. I can kind of leave them on. Well, let's see what happens.
Dude, let me set the mood, Ronnie.
Yeah, set them up. So see here, what kind of questions I got. I have a Pro-Princess grinder. Of course, we're gonna. Willie Nelson is saying real choppy. Sorry, man. I don't know. I guess I could switch over to my thing. We're on a 5G.
Yeah, I don't know if I paid the bill. I think so.
Yeah, so Cricket Wireless.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube guys, is it still real choppy? If it is, I'll switch over to my hotspot on my phone. So let me know if it's still real choppy. So let's see here. Grinder says, I have a Pro Performance banner Travis gave me for Jason, and I forgot to drop it off. Sorry, Travis.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He did say that.
Classic Grinder. Where's Grinder? I'm going to get a cold one real quick while I reach down in here. Let's see if we can't get caught up here on some of these questions real quick. A clean shop is a happy shop. That's from Choice Transmissions.
Well, there's Rick's Towing, so that's our dude that does the exhaust, all that fancy exhaust work. That's Rick. Rick's Towing.
I just posted it. He must do some stuff for Fat Fender.
He
too.
does.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, cool. So welcome in Rick's Towing, and welcome in 5859 Slam. Careful from us.
Yeah.
Love your shop. Well organized. Mad Rods, what's up, brother? Hey, Mad Rods, what year is that OBS? I want to say it was like in '94 when you posted up that thing and I saw it at LST. All right, grinder stand still choppy. So I guess if I can, let me try to go to my, okay, hold on here. Let me try to go, oh, they're going to be mad. Let me go hotspot. Go back to Instagram. I wonder if I lost it. If I lost you guys, I'm trying to go to my hotspot and click it over. Okay, YouTube, I'll be back here. Let me see what happens. I'm trying to get my hotspot to kick up. So let's see. I have a Brazilian C1076 with the swap Dodge engine. What do you guys think about? We think you guys want us to tell. What's the Miller banner? What's the Miller?
Oh, that's Aaron. What's up, Aaron?
Oh boy.
He did, dude. Aaron hooked us up with a Miller's welder bender. He actually got me hooked up with so he reached out to him and said, "Hey, can you send him a banner?" We went to put it up, dude, and we're out of room.
Yeah,
so
he's like, "Where's it?" Oh, an '89. Okay, Mad Rods.
I go, man, should we take that C10 Talk banner down?
What's up, Richie?
It wasn't an option.
Yeah, you can take it down. That's all right. Just make sure you get it back up. One more time, I'm going to try to click through here. I got to try to get this hotspot going. Okay, get back. Poor connection due to poor connection. Okay, we're back. I'm just trying to get